Hi, I'm muted. Welcome everybody to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. We are here with a very special run today. Really, it's more than one run. It's several runs in a row because we have a relay race up for you of the new Super Mario Brothers series. That's right. We're going to have 5 games back to back, 2 teams battling it out. It should be a lot of fun. I don't know that much about the new Super Mario Brothers series myself, so I'm incredibly excited for this. To learn more about this. Before we get going here, I got to remind people about some announcements that we got going on here for Games Done Quick. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, you can check out the Community Spotlight, one of our regular running shows on Mondays. And that is actually going to be a Jet Set Radio showcase tomorrow. So I know there's a lot of fans of that game out there. So please be sure to check that one out. And also, don't forget the Summer Games Done Quick 2020 online is coming up soon. The prize submissions are open, and you can visit gamesdonequick.com for more information about how to submit prizes if you're interested in that. And that's also where you can find other information like the dates of the event, August 16th to the 23rd, and anything else you might need to know. With that being said, I think we're pretty much good to kick things off here. So I'm going to throw it over to our commentators for the first game here. We've got Andre and Yipley. Welcome. Please let everybody know what's going on here, and I'll get our runners kicked off.
All right, what's up, everyone? I'm Yipley, and this is Andre. Welcome to the new Super Mario Bros. Series Speedrunning Relay Race. We're going to be seeing tons of awesome games on display, and hopefully some really tight competition, because we have the best of runners from basically all the games. So yeah, we're going to be having the 2 teams here, with one being Glitchman's team, and the other being Spicy Noodle's team. They are pretty dang good runners, so hopefully it's going to be a good race. I mean, they're so good, like, literally yesterday, you can see Spicy Noodles on the right here. He got the first ever 22:30 time in this game, which is absolutely insane. So and Glitch is only like 5 seconds behind him. So these runners are the best of the best. And this game's really close to its limit, so it should be quite cool to see these 2 face off. They'll be doing a trick here at the beginning, which is called RNG manip, and I guess I'll hand that off to Andre.
Okay, so one of the few things you can control in this game is the red block movement after you finish 1-2, and what you're going to get from the red block if it comes to 1-2. The red block movement and what item you're going to get is based on 2 things: the boot up time and the number of double jumps you can do. Technically you can do more than that to manipulate RNG, but that's the easiest component to control. So I think they're still okay. They haven't started yet, but okay. So
I think they haven't even done RNG manip yet, because Noodles is waiting on the title screen, or at least Glitch hasn't, and Glitch is still in 8-2 practice. That's a pretty fun level. We'll see some special stuff in there when we get there. But yeah, for now they're, I think, waiting for a countdown to get ready. Glitch is probably going to have to set up his RNG manip by going to the settings and messing around with some stuff. And then we should get going. So yeah. Noodles what? Glitch's screen might be
frozen.
Yeah. So Noodles is off. Glitch hopefully should be off too soon. We should get that all synced up. And yeah, this game's, like I said, around 20 to 23 minutes. So pretty sick.
Yeah, so one of the things I mentioned was RNG, and the toad in the background actually signifies what seed you're on. So if you're trying to find a setup, then that's one of the visual cues you can use.
And like Andre mentioned before, you're going to see them doing double jumps in 1-1. They have to do a very specific amount, otherwise their RNG manip won't work, and they won't be able to get the shell in 1-2, which we can use to get the secret exit in 1 tower to exit out of World 1 really quickly. So if he does this really quick, he should get a blue shell.
I'm going to cut in here real quick. Sorry, because we had a little small technical hiccup there. We're just going to go ahead and do a quick mulligan, start this one back off, so that way we can see both runners do this right. So we're just contacting Spicy Noodles real quick, and then we are going to start it back off. So luckily, you just get more time to explain exactly what's going on with all of this.
Oh, wonderful. All right.
We'll probably need it. This trick is pretty dang complicated. So yeah, like I said before, they'll be getting the blue shell in 1 1-2 to use in one tower to take the secret exit in one tower to make it to the cannon in World 1 to take that to World 5. So yeah, bunch of steps there, all to just enter or exit World 1 as soon as possible, to beat the game the quickest way possible. And doing that all saves around what, like 5 or 6 minutes. So that's pretty sick.
Yeah, so the immediate benefit you'll see from getting blue shell is unlocking the secret exit in one tower and taking a cannon, which skips having to play worlds 2 and 3. So you'll jump right to world 5. And then the not so obvious benefit being most levels will in the beginning will be much easier to play, a lot of them faster and more safe.
Yeah, because the blue shell, it can just zoom right through enemies. You can hit them and not even take damage. It is honestly a little overpowered, and I'd really love to see it back in a new game, but Nintendo just haven't yet, so that's a little unfortunate.
So they're
they're
both
waiting
on
in
the
the title screen here for the countdown, and hopefully we should actually get going now in real soon. And there we go. Glitch is off and Noodles is off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, looks
Waiting
like
on
they're
this-
both playing Luigi.
The superior character. Even though Mario and Luigi actually do, neither is faster than the other. They're the same exact thing, but Luigi's funnier, so we play as him because, yeah, it's good. So let's finish off this around 30-40 second cutscene here, and then they'll be able to enter 1-1 and do their double jumps and hopefully get blue shell in 1-2. So 1-1's probably the easiest level we're going to see so far. It's just run and jump. As long as they do their double jumps properly, should be all good. But in 1-2, they're actually going to have to do a trick called QSG, which I'll let Andre explain.
Alright, so one of the less obvious mechanic in this game is that the shell sliding animation is actually like 6% slower, I think. Oh yeah, 6% or so slower than normal running speed. And QSG is, well, basically a glitch that allows you to slide in a normal dash speed. So you will get both the benefit of being in shell and the speed of normal dash.
Yeah, so we'll be seeing that trick in a few levels here. They both get blue shell, that's good. And they both get QSG, that's good.
Wow.
We'll probably be seeing QSG being used in 1-2 here, obviously. Maybe one tower if they're feeling brave enough. And what else? 5-2, and
5-2,
probably
yeah.
not 5-3, but maybe there. 5-3 we usually do a different trick, which is even more fun.
Okay, so they take the secret exit. And yeah.
You saw at the end of 1-2 there, they're doing some off-screen unmorphs, which is when you're unmorphed, you're out of shell, and when you're morphed, you're in shell. Like Andre said earlier, being out of shell is very slightly faster, and that's why we use QSG to get that out of shell speed while you're in shell. So task cycle here, interesting.
Yeah, coming up is one tower, cycle-based level, but I think they're both going for the fastest cycle, I think. Yeah.
Oh, Glitch didn't get it.
Spicy Noodle gets a cycle. How's he doing?
Yeah.
Yep. No
That's a
mistakes
very
so far.
tight trick. You only have like 4 or 5 frames of leeway through the first half second of the level, so it's really tight actually.
Yeah.
And you'll
So
see Andre
optimal-
take the.
Yeah.
Andre, you're Andre.
Alright, so
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see Noodles take the secret exit here, break some blocks, and enter there. Very nice tower from him.
so that was like what, not nine, well, like almost 10 in-game seconds faster than the next fastest cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so Noodles has a sizable lead here for this game, at least about 7 seconds. Hopefully, Glitch can make that up. There's some good opportunities like Ghost House, 5-3 if Noodle messes up. 5-1 and 2 should be relatively trivial for these two, being the top runners they are. And we're off to World 5.
Yeah, cannon like we mentioned earlier.
So they should be finishing this split around 3. Whoa. Did I see a 3? I don't know how fast Noodles did it, but that was a really good
Yeah.
one from him.
Very crisp.
Very. The crispiest of World 1s. So you'll be seeing a lot of unmorphs here, like earlier, just to get that extra little speed instead of being in a morph state and you get not a lot of speed. So that's a good level to use unmorphs in.
Yep. A lot of morphs, but really trivial in terms of speedrunning standpoint.
Yeah. 5-2 is an interesting level. We're going to see QSG used again. And yeah, if they don't get QSG, we're going to see a lot of unmorphs again. And if they don't get QSG, it's going to be a little interesting because this level is so congested and tight that it's not easy if you don't get QSG. Because if you get QSG, you can be in shell, obviously, and that's a little overpowered in tight spaces. Noodle's getting it.
So one of the things I forgot to explain, well, this is coming up in 5.3, but yeah, the game shoots up a fireworks every time you finish a level with double digits remaining on a timer. So one of the things we often do is we usually wait for 1 in-game second, or alternatively finish 1 second early. Yeah, finish. So anyway, we need to offset it by 1 so that we don't see the fireworks animation.
If you get fireworks here, that is very bad. That is like a 5-6 second time loss. Just do the fireworks animation playing. And when you get a firework, it scrolls to the left to see a toad house, which wastes a lot of time.
Oh, yeah, are they gonna do it? Yep.
Oh,
Okay, so
Andre
Spicy Noodles missed it.
Not Andre. I keep saying Andre. What's up with that?
Alright, so Glitch, does he get it? Yep. Okay, so
That's
so what Glitch just did is one of the tricks I actually adopted from the tasks. Yeah, so throwing animation on slopes is very wonky in this game, and it gets you a lot of speed. Yep, so Glitch just finished in a 6-8. That skips fireworks.
and we'll be entering Ghost House here, which is a very, very technical level. A lot of weird movement going on here.
Yep, movement oriented.
Yeah. Just a lot of like tiny little things that you pick up very, very easily. But as we see so far, both runners having a very nice Ghost House. Ooh, Glitch
Wow.
missing it. He's supposed to unveil the right block there, the invisible block, but he fell, so he couldn't do that. So he wasted like 3 or 4 seconds.
And
Did you see what Noodles did? He did a GWK. He did a glitchy wall kick. That's insane. You never see those. Wow.
alright, so we're just at the end of World 5 pretty much. I'll just finish this dull auto scroller and then we'll be off to World 8.
Yeah. So we should see them as Bowser Jr. throws Peach in the tower here. We should see them around 8 minutes or slightly faster. That's kind of the standard for top runs at this level. And honestly, Noodles is on a really good run, aside from his 5-3 being bad.
Amazing.
So he
3-3-2,
could be
you
a-
never really see that.
Yeah, that is very nice. He's on 22 pace for sure, I would say. And 22 in races are few and far between, except for this man, Noodles. We were doing practice races the other day, and he banged out like 2 out of 3 of his races were 22s, which is absolutely mental. That used to be a huge barrier for this game. So yeah, Noodles with like probably 5 or 6 second lead into 8-1.
Okay, so World 8, a lot of the levels are actually pretty intimidating if you're just casually playing, but these skilled players, they have no problem navigating through them. Yeah. Oh, and one of the things I saw in chat was, are there any components that are affected by RNG? And that's a good question because you'll see a lot of that in World 8. You'll see why.
Yeah.
So one of the things is that you see these overworld red blocks and then Hammer Bros. They move between levels every time you finish a level, and there's a really long bridge between 8 Castle and then 8-5. And if you're unlucky, one of those moving objects will cross between the bridge, and then you'll lose a lot of time.
Okay, watch Noodles here. He's gonna go for a frame perfect no Q. Oh my gosh, he got it second try. That's insane.
Second try. Wow.
They have a gentleman's agreement to do this 8 times to see. Oh, Glitch got it first try. This is actually crazy.
First try.
This is insane. You never see this. Like, actually never.
Okay, so the trick they just did were frame perfect.
And there's no visual cue for it, and there's a good chance it just won't happen regardless. Like, there's a chance it won't work. I think Noodles is on 4x pace here. That's crazy.
Wow.
Jeez. Wow. I literally got a PB like 30 minutes before this, and that was a 22:50. And I thought that was a good run. But Noodles is on pace to beat it right now. Wow. In a race. Both of them with fast 8-2, like first, second try. I know Glitch was complaining that he could not get fast 8-2 today, but then getting it first try in the race is very nice for him.
Okay, so this level is cycle based, but I think they'll both be going for the fastest cycle. I don't see why not. Oh, yep, and Noodles. Okay, Noodles gets it. Okay, so sliding through that tiny little gap, yeah, that skips the cycle, and you'll save like what? How much seconds? 5 or 6 in game
5
seconds. 5 or 6, so that's like 5.
Yeah, and then they'll do a quick kill here, which is pretty tight. Only a couple frames for it. But both of them getting it, no problem. Alright, let's see. 8-3 here. This is the main reason we keep Shell to this point. You might not see it because obviously both runners have Shell, but when you swim in water with Shell, it's actually significantly faster. Mario just has a very fast water swimming speed when he's in Shell for whatever reason. So by having Shell in this level, we actually save like 7-ish seconds, I think? Something like that.
Yep. Upwards of 7.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's just horizontal speed. The vertical speed doesn't change, but you'll get a lot of speed in the X direction.
Like this section here that Noodles is coming up on.
Glitch gets hit. Okay, that is gonna hurt.
So you will see the swimming speed be different this time.
Mm-hmm.
You see, look at Spicy's or Noodles' swimming speed right now, and then look at Glitch's. He's just going so much faster. Glitch can make use of these bubble things here to go a little bit faster, catch up to Noodles, but he's just going to be struggling through the rest of this level. So, yeah. This level and next level are kind of like the calm before the storm of the run usually. They're very chill. 8-4, you don't have any problems. But yeah, so we should just have a little break here. Oh, something you should also mention, because Glitch can't swim at normal swimming speed, what he can do is actually, when he's going through the bubble streams, not press anything on the D-pad, and that'll extend his speed a little more. Oh, and that was an intentional hit, but that Noodles took. Shell's a little slower from this point onwards, so we just get rid of it there, because it's convenient. So yeah, 8-4 here. A little mechanic that you probably haven't seen, but runners of this game will learn to hate is called the pixel stop. You'll see Noodles crouching here when he's going on vertical moving platforms to avoid what we call pixel stop. Basically what it is if you're running on a platform, or if you land on a platform and it's moving upwards or downwards, you can randomly just lose all of your momentum. And this also happens when you hit a corner of a block. So Glitch is actually dodging it by shooting fireballs, and Noodles is dodging it by crouching, which is 2 different ways of approaching it. So yeah.
Yeah, so this mechanic alone, I think, made it a lot harder for casual players, but these speedrunners have no issue. Yep.
Ooh, 8 Castle's pretty scary. If they fall in the lava, they just straight up die. 20-second time loss. Put the other person in the lead if it happens. Ooh, tight jump there. And then they'll be fighting... Well, I won't spoil who it is, but they'll be fighting someone here. It's not Bowser, it's... Not Bowser Jr., it's... Wait for it. Dry Bowser. Whoa, crazy. So right, that's the end of the game, right? Oh my gosh, that was a super quick kill from Noodles.
Crazy movement from Glitch.
Both of them are just going crazy. Insane. Glitch is probably on 22 pace as well. Actually, no, because he got hit in 8-3. So he's on like 23 OX or 1X pace, I think. And Noodles hasn't made any more mistakes, so he's still probably on 4X pace, which is absolutely insane for a race. He's just risen to the occasion.
So there's that bridge I mentioned earlier. It pops up out of nowhere. Yeah.
And we'll be entering what we call...
This bridge alone killed so many world record paced runs.
Yeah. Because if a block or a hammer bro crosses it, boom, you just get a free 3-second time loss, which is detrimental to the health of your run.
So they're both entering the back half of World 8.
This is like the hardest few levels in the game, honestly. Very technical.
Fine, not much of an issue, just run past it.
Ooh. Let's see what movement they go for an 8-6. I want to see if Glitch tries the little Koopa strat that he knows. It's pretty risky. And it only saves like half a second, so I don't know why he would do it, but Glitch is the kind of guy that would just go for it regardless. Just take in that speed from Noodles. Look at the crazy movement that you need for this level. Oh, Noodles went for the Koopa strat, and he got it. That's crazy.
Wow. Very nice play from them.
Oh my gosh, 370. I haven't even had a 370 just ever, and he just gets one. Easy as that. Glitch might as well, actually. Oh my goodness. Insane 8-6s. Wow. Absolutely insane.
Alright, so 8-7, yet another speedrunning trick. You'll see a ledge before the checkpoint, but grabbing that thing is slow, so what they do is fireballs, yep, like that. And that animation cuts out having to land on the ledge, and looks like Noodles took a hit.
Yeah, so what that means for him is he'll need to not get hit in the next level in order to do a trick in 8 Tower 2 called Death Warp. Or he can grab that extra fire flower there, that works too. So this next level is completely RNG and is the bane of all runners' existence. 8-8. Yeah, so there's random meteors just falling from the sky, and you have to hope they're not in your way, otherwise you're probably getting hit. It's not fun.
Yeah, there's a star block in the level that makes it so much easier and faster. Oh, and Noodles took a hit.
Unlucky. If he didn't get that backup fire flower, he wouldn't have been able to do Death Warp in the next level.
Yeah. So aside from getting hit, Noodles gets pretty good RNG. Oh, Glitch gets hit.
Glitch got hit.
Oh, okay. That was kind of dodgy, but still gets it.
Thought he was gonna get star block despawn. There's a chance if you hit it while there's a meteor right there, your star could just disappear, just doesn't spawn. And Noodles with a bridge crossing as well.
Yeah. Delayed entry.
So what we'll see here is Death Warp. Andre, you wanna go for that one?
Yeah, so the snake block, goes through the level. But just riding on that thing is gonna be way too slow, so what we're gonna do is just move ahead of the snake block, get the checkpoint, and then take a death, which saves how many seconds? Like
Eight.
5-ish seconds. Yeah.
I thought it was closer to like 8 or 9. I don't remember.
Okay, well.
This is one that I just never remembered. It could be as much as like 10. I don't.
So they both get a pretty clean death warp, and then they re-enter the level.
Wow, wait, Glitch is caught up. I didn't realize that. I guess it was just
Willie
because of
John.
Noodles getting hit.
Willie John says 8 seconds, so I think it saves 8 seconds. I don't know.
That's probably right. So yeah, this level's kind of boring. We're just gonna wait for them to reach the top. Yep. They know how the snake block goes, so there's gonna be no problems here. No way to skip it or anything. We're just gonna have to wait. But I think Noodles has 5-ish second lead, which could disappear if he messes up Bowser's Castle. Which is one of the... honestly, I'd say it's the hardest level in the run. Ultra long, over 2 minutes, and just... It's like 8-6, but more. Tons of really tight, dumb movement. You're just gonna have to not mess up.
Yeah, it's one of the few... what do you call it? It's not just, hold right and win type of game. A lot of left, right, left.
A little less
ducks,
linear.
jumps. Yep.
Yeah. Also, if you die in it, it's such a long level that you're gonna lose over a minute for sure. So you really don't want to die here. Alright, entering the final Bowser Jr. fight.
Alright, so
He's just
fireball spam.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very, very close. That could change any second.
Yeah. Just one mistake in Bowser's Castle, and Glitch is taking the lead by a solid minute.
Well, not actual minute, but like 10.
If he dies.
5, 10.
If he dies, he's ahead a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he makes a smaller mistake, we could be very, very close. I think they're both still on 22 pace actually. Looking, or maybe not Glitch. Noodles is definitely on 22 pace.
Noodles looks like 47, 8-ish pace, which is insane.
I think it's a little worse than that. I think it's like
Worse?
low 5x, because the timer at the bottom is actually off by like a second.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Noodles is taking a really risky power-up route here. He's taking 2 damage boosts early, and he's going to have to miss a damage boost in the next route, or he'll just take it safe. But Glitch is taking the more conventional route.
Is he going to do it? Ooh, missed the wall kick.
He still went for it.
Ooh. Okay, so that was pretty slick.
Glitch saved about a second there. Very clean switch though.
Very nice.
That's going to be
missed the button.
That's unfortunate. It's going to clip through the blocks here, which is a little cool. I guess you could call it a glitch? I don't know. Glitch in speedrunning is kind of a loose term. Alright, Bowser jump.
Alright. So Noodles enters the final hallway.
And then at the end of the hallway, we're gonna have a fight here for the end of the game. And there's a nifty little trick that we do to beat Bowser in literally 1 second flat. It's insane. Yeah. We'll see it here.
You'll just have to watch and see.
Yeah.
Alright.
Boom.
And that's time for spicy noodles.
I think that was a low 5x. And Glitch with like that could be 22, I'm not sure. It's gonna be close. Yeah. Either way though, great job from both runners.
Wow.
22 and maybe a 22. Yeah, insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, both getting in within range of sub 23. That's not something you see every day.
Could not have asked for a better race.
Yep.
And I guess we'll be handing it off here to the NSMEW crew with Bonza Crank and DCA commentating. So yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be a sign off
So-
from us. Cheers. Follow our Twitches and YouTubes and all that. Follow Spicy Noodles, Glitchman. Yeah, we'll be handing it off to NSCBW here. See ya.
Thanks for watching.
Hello, everyone. I'm Diamond Crafter 8.
I am Bronze Crank. And this is New Super Mario Bros. Wii, the second game relay. So, I believe... Oh, it doesn't look like the name has been switched over yet, but running for... Oh, there we go.
Was right in the middle of it. We got it.
Oh, sorry.
All good.
So replacing Glitchman is going to be Fade Vanity, and replacing Spicy Noodles is going to be U Video. Fade Vanity is the current world record holder of this game. Recently just took it back as well. U Video is another very high level runner. So both of them with very low times, looking to help out their teams in this relay. U Video is heading into 1-1 here, as is Fade. 1-1, along with the rest of World 1, is a pretty straightforward level. They aren't going to be doing any major tricks, but both of them will be doing various movement optimizations just to eke out those couple extra seconds of time save here. One of those movement optimizations, I guess I'll explain it, is right there before the checkpoint. You saw Fade Vanity do it a few seconds ago, is to do a bit of a turnaround before you hit the checkpoint so you do not bonk into the wall, which saves around a second, I believe. Both the runners going to be heading into 1-2 now. 1-2 is around the same as 1-1 in difficulty and in terms of tricks. So once again, nothing too special, but both runners are going to be dealing with tighter spaces as well as just tighter jumps in general due to the cave setting of the level. It is very easy to lose a few seconds here and there just to bonking on random blocks, so both runners are going to have to watch their movement here. Though it looks like both of them are having a pretty relatively easy time getting through here.
Okay, I'm back. Had a little bit of internet technical difficulties.
So, U Video getting a 455. Not optimal. Optimal is 456, but 455 is still a pretty good time. Fade Vanity actually going to get a 456 for himself, making up probably a small fraction of a second there, but in a race this close, every fraction of a second can help.
Indeed,
Now, heading into 1-3, we... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, heading into 1-3 here, we just saw U Video do it. We're going to see Fade Vanity do it. There is a triple jump we take off this question mark block right here at the beginning to do what Fade Vanity just did, which is to be able to jump on top of that Hammer Bro as you enter the level, because that Hammer Bros movement is entirely RNG, and if he jumps and you aren't triple jumping, he will hit you and you will lose your propeller power up, which you want to be keeping for the majority of this run.
So yeah, right here they're doing a jump up to the secret exit of this level that will bring us to the cannon. This will bring us to World 5, skipping 3 worlds.
Which is very nice, because skipping worlds is fast.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stupid RNG in World 4.
We do not talk about the RNG. It's... We try not to think about it.
Yeah.
Here, Toad gets kidnapped, and we are not going to save him, because saving him loses time, and also, why would we?
Yeah.
It's not our problem, is it?
Well, depends. Yeah, on the loading screens of all cannons, overworld enemy encounters, and I believe pipes as well, it is faster to mash 2 as it just speeds up the loading screen.
Yeah. We don't know why the loading screens are faster when you mash 2 through them for cannons and overworld enemies, but it is. So we have to save time.
Yep. Although, at a top level, loading times are removed because they're inconsistent across every console.
Just fantastic.
Yeah. 5-1 here. They're grabbing a star out of this roulette box. As long as you do the same movement every time, it's consistent what you get out of it.
Yeah. It runs on a very predictable cycle. So as long as you don't, I think it's as long as you don't slow down at all coming up to it. Or no, not if you don't slow down, but if you slow down at just the right moments, like, so if you either walk up the shell or you do the triple jump, either way that slows you down just enough to,
Yeah, that is just one of the many examples of terrible hitboxes in this game.
Terrible hitboxes, and probably what felt to him like a dropped input, or what is colloquially called a drop input, which is inputting a few frames early, which just makes the game not notice that you tried to do something. What he tried to do was get a jump off that vine as early as possible to minimize the amount of time you're stuck on that vine. And by trying to do that just a bit too early, it just did not let him jump off of the vine because he already tried to jump, probably didn't spam it or whatever, and ended up just hanging on the vine till it led him into the Koopa, which led to him losing that propeller power-up. So there is a backup that he is going to have to go for in 5-3, but that's still going to lose him at least, like, I think 5 seconds, I believe.
It's like 15.
15, oh.
Yeah, before we get too far away from it, there was also this jump out of the water and propeller that they did at the end of 5-1. That was known as water skip. Saved about 2 seconds.
And it looks very cool, which I think is more important than the time save.
So, 5-3 here. These bramble enemies with the long legs, they have terrible hitboxes. Sometimes you'll do a jump that looks good, but you'll get hit, and other times you'll do a jump that looks like you should get hit, and you don't.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
Their legs, I think, only have hitboxes close to their head and close to the feet. So, there's a huge portion of them that you can just phase through, and there's no real good way to tell if you're going to get hit or not. And, that's
Fade losing his backup propeller.
I will note something about Fade's backup, by the way, that he messed up the initial backup setup. He went down to the roulette block. I think he accidentally swung out a bit too far from the semi-solid platform, and he actually waited a full cycle and still got propeller. So that was at least pretty good on his part. The propeller loss, though, later in the level is really unfortunate, especially since he already got checkpoints, so he can't just take a death and go back. He's going to have to finish the level, either go back from here or... No, he's just going
to go with it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
which is
another thing is that they also had the chance to go to 5-2 there, but that level is about 3 to 5 seconds slower, although it is a lot easier.
Yeah. Not most, but all top level runners will go 5-3 because of the time save, but in general, lower level runners of this game will pick 5-2 because pretty much you can learn it in like 15 minutes and it's not a big deal.
It also has bad hitboxes, but they're in your favor.
5-3 will consistently mess you up, and it's awful.
Yeah. So, this level here, 5 tower, it's a cycle-based level. Like most towers in this game, it's vertical as well, so the propeller saves a ton of time. U-Video did go for the fastest but quite difficult cycle known as 556, where we enter the door with 556 remaining on the in-game timer. But he messed it up and was not able to get it, so he got 546, which is the more common cycle with Propeller.
Yeah.
And Fade getting 504, which is not.
I don't think that's
great.
optimal for not Propeller, but
You can get 546 without Propeller.
Yeah, but I think generally
You need
people
a
don't
damage
practice
boost,
this level without
though.
Propeller, so I don't blame him for missing a couple cycles.
Yeah. So going into 5-4 here, there is this raft that we totally have to ride.
Yes. And by totally
No
have
way,
to ride,
no known
I
way
mean...
to skip it. Wait, what is U-Video doing?
Anyway, so yeah, the intended way to do this level is to ride on that raft, which slowly crawls along this entire area and stops whenever 5 or more entities are on it, which is incredibly slow, as in around a minute 15 slower than doing what U-Video is doing, which is called 5-4 skip, where we use Propeller and just land on a variety of different objects that they have placed kind of conveniently.
Very conveniently.
Throughout the level.
Very conveniently.
Yeah, ending with flying up to an off-screen platform where
it's actually an invisible conveyor belt.
Yeah, where it's used to drop the enemies on your head from in the clouds, but you can get up there as well, and also use it to complete 5-4 skip, because somehow this was able to be done.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to point out that it was discovered in 2009. Like,
we figured this out
a little bit after
quickly.
The game's release.
But anyway, Fade Vanity is going to be showing us what it looks like when you don't have Propeller and you have to do 5-4 the normal way. He's going to be losing quite a bit of time here to U-Video, who is heading into Ghost House now, where the main part of the first room is just that it's kind of dark. That's the whole thing about first room. The second room here, that one jump he just did with the crouch can mess you up, because a lot of times, especially if you have a setup that doesn't involve hitting the light switch, it can be basically a blind jump. So I have seen a lot of runs end just on that one jump, as well as the jump he just did through the ring of boos called Boo Ring Jump, which it's not incredibly precise, but if you mess up your setup, it's also very likely you'll get hit and then end up losing time in the next level due to not having Propeller. And Uvid's gonna be making his way into World 8 now, which is the last world of the game. Once again, just like the last game, we spend, I believe, just around half our time in this game in World 8, so World 8 is once again the longest world by far.
Yeah, luckily there is a convenient secret exit in 8.2 that allows us to cut out 5 levels.
In exchange for 1.
Yeah. Although that level is an auto-scroller.
Yes. The greatest level in the game.
Yeah. A level that can indeed invalidate your run. But we will get to that when we get there. So, starting here in 8.1, you'll notice these meteors that are falling from the sky. They're completely random. However, if we do the correct movement, you can avoid all patterns that would potentially get you hit.
Yeah.
And the thing that U-Video did there, where he grabbed a shell and threw it, that's known as shell boost, where you cancel the Propeller animation using a shell, and it allows you to fall faster.
Yeah. Saves right around a second.
Half a second.
Before I go on any further, I want to point out a awful pun someone made in chat, because I hate it and I'm gonna have to say it on stream now. When I talked about Boo Ring Jump, and then Carbasi said sounds like a Boo Ring Jump, a boring jump. That is the worst pun I've ever seen, and I'm stealing it for the next time I do commentary on this game. Thank you. Anyway, you video making short work of 8-1 there. Did you talk about the triple jump at the end, or should I
Not
go
yet.
over that really quick?
So yeah, we do 2 intentional damage boosts, followed by a triple jump over a lava pillar. And yes, it is a triple jump over it. You do not have invincibility frames.
Yeah, even though it might look like you do. If you think you do, you will get hit and die, and it will be very sad.
Yeah.
Now, heading into 8-2, this is the only level in the game where we stay as Small Mario the entire time, because there's a passageway we have to go through at the end of the level, which is much faster if we have the height of Small Mario in order to not hit the ceiling.
Yeah. And then grabbing a star here.
There is a faster way to grab the star, or is it faster, or is it just like more
It's
optimal
faster.
for situations? It's faster, okay. Yeah, there's a faster way to grab the star called reverse star grab, but U-Video's not going for it. It's still relatively new tech that's kind of... Oh!
Ooh! Fade taking a death to the RNG meteors.
Yeah. It looked like he was trying to get like a small jump over that Buzzy Beetle. Ended up not being able to make it all the way over.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to go through the first part of 8-1 again. U-Video getting out of 8-2, so that's a pretty sizable lead coming in here for U-Video.
U-Video having some technical difficulties.
Okay, that's not just on my...
Fade
Oh, no!
taking another death.
Fade,
the
just go on the
RNG
bottom of the platform, please. Come on, man.
RNG not being nice.
RNG.
U-Video heading into 8-7 now. This is the auto-scroller.
It's a fantastic level. I love it because I have lost multiple races to this. Because it is an auto-scroller, and the only real parts to optimize are getting off of the coasters and moving in between them. Everything else is basically just... Oh no, Fade, no!
Fade getting the same pattern as last time.
Please go under the platform, I'm begging you. Come on, I don't care if you haven't practiced it. Just
Yeah.
believe in your instincts. Believe in the heart of the cards. I don't care. You only have one. You have no mushrooms left.
I guess we should probably explain how 8-7 can invalidate your run.
Before. Yeah.
So, basically, every level in this game has 3-star coins. Oh! Fade with another death.
When he hit the Buzzy Beetle, he was out of rhythm. Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Anyways, back to 8-7. You are required by law to either get all 3-star coins in 8-7 or none of them. If you get 1 or 2, your run is instantly invalidated.
And we will find your house and break in and take your Wii from you. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's probably a bit far.
Yeah, sorry. But,
so Fade making it past the part that he was struggling with. And grabbing that fire flower there to be able to do the damage boost triple jump.
See if he can get it here. Double looks good, triple looks good. Alright, Fade finally out of the cursed level. And U-Video making his way out of 8-7 with a 337 IGT.
Valid run.
Valid run. Okay, to be clear, since I'm seeing it in chat, we are joking when we talk about valid versus invalid runs in 8-7. It's more of a community thing.
Yeah, it's
like,
a meme.
Yeah, just to meme about. No, your run is not invalid if you just get the second star coin. Do not worry, we will not take your run off the leaderboards.
It's actually, it can be quite difficult to grab the first and third star coins, because you can die getting the first one and take a hit getting the third one.
Yeah, and either one of those situations is not good for you. So a lot of times,
Especially the first one.
yeah, if I'm ever on a PB pace run, I don't go for it unless like I don't like the run at all because it's so late into the run.
So, U-Video, grab propeller back in 8 airship here. There's a few skips we can do in this level. What you're intended to do is use these screws here to make these platforms lower, and then go on top of those, but we don't do that.
It's very slow, so we instead use propellers just to jump under the platforms and fly up to the next platform. And it's much faster that way, and also, once again, looks much cooler, which at the end of the day...
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, coming into this fight here at the end of the level, there is these bombs that Bowser Jr. drops, and as of right now, there is no known way of skipping those. We have to do this fight as intended.
They're terrible, you know that? Oh,
Yeah, U-Video is just gonna do a ground pound here. Wait, what?
You can't.
This isn't on the script.
Anyway, so, but joking aside, there is a way to skip doing this fight the intentional way, called bombless, which I'll let DCA explain because he's
yeah. There is a 1 to 2 frame window where you can actually squeeze a ground pound in. So you notice how Bowser Jr.'s clown car is oscillating up and down slightly. So yeah, ground pounding makes your hitbox smaller. So if you get ground pound in the 2 frame window where his clown car is low enough.
Oh no, no, Fade! Fade, don't do that! No!
Fade with the swag death.
No! He died for the swag. It is the fate of all speedrunners to die for the swag.
Very noble cause to die to.
No.
So yeah, that's gonna lose him like another 45 seconds, I think.
8-7 is the worst level in the game, or the best level in the game, depending on how you look at it, because it can just, if you act like an idiot, you can and will lose like a minute of time because of how long the level is.
Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying with Bombless, yeah, if you get a ground pound in that 2 frame window, you can hit him without using the bombs, and if you can do this twice, it can save up to 23 seconds.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a very hard trick to get because it's a 1 to 2 frame window and there's not too many really good cues to go off of. So it's a notorious run ender for top level runners. U-Video
losing propeller in the first room of the castle to that fire bar there. That's a very easy spot to lose your propeller to.
Not gonna lose him too much time overall. Oh no! Oh my god.
Falling off of the platform.
Did he do a wall
that is going to be...
just, like, run back really fast?
I think he ran back. I don't even know what happened there. I wasn't paying too much attention.
Trying to correct his position so he could like get a running start to the pipe, and then he just kind of fell.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Well, now he doesn't have to worry about having lost propeller.
Yeah. Taking another hit, so he's going to be small. This can pose a little bit of a threat, as he can now die in 1 hit.
Yeah.
But hopefully shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Hit by, though. Fade getting a 339 in 8-7, which is a really nice IGT. After unfortunate events happened to him, but he's good now.
Unspeakable things.
The level cursed him, as it does.
This is a very good example of how brutal this game can be when you're doing in a reset.
New video heading into what's called Lava Room, which is an unskippable auto-scroller where you just kind of have to wait on these falling platforms as the lava goes down, and the exit to the room is a pipe at the very bottom of the level. However, you do not have to wait until the lava completely disappears to enter into the pipe, as U video just showed.
Yeah.
The goal in this room is pretty much to get into that pipe as soon as you can, which is pretty much, I think the soonest you can get into the pipe is when it's not even visible on the screen yet. So there's a big trade-off in this level between being as fast as possible and risking jumping directly into the lava and losing about a minute of time.
Yeah.
U-Video, I wouldn't say played it too safe, but I didn't do it like perfectly optimally, so at least he could see the pipes.
I mean,
we're gonna do it.
getting into the pipe on the first frame possible is not necessary for a full game run.
Yes. Ooh, U-Video getting a Bowser jump.
Yeah,
Getting
so
hit, but
this is going to be a bit of a problem here. He has two options. He can either do the rest of the level without power-ups, or in other words, low percent, or he can go up and grab a mushroom while also risking throwing off the manipulation of these fireballs that Bowser is going to shoot at him. Basically, how you manipulate them is you jump at certain points when he's getting ready to shoot a fireball, and you want them to line up in a straight line so that you can just run straight through.
Fade getting coding double, the fastest bombless you can get. That was nice.
Fade just showing off at this point.
Yeah, 395. I think that's one IGT off of perfectly optimal, if I'm not
No,
mistaken. Is 396 not? Oh no.
I think it's 397.
Oh, people
Although
don't
I don't think anyone's gotten that in a full game run while grabbing
Yeah.
Propeller.
But anyway, still, pretty much optimal bombless there from Fade. Still showing off that he is the world record holder. He does have strats when he's not jumping off of the coaster in 8-7.
So yeah, U-Video heading off, finishing the game.
Final switch. That is a GG for U-Video. I want to say he got like high 25, maybe?
No, he died in 8C.
He died
I
in
don't
8C,
think
that's right. I don't know. I don't have his specific timer, so I can only guess.
So yeah, next up is MSMB 2.
Should we pass it off to the commentators here, or should we wait for Fade to finish up?
Yeah, let's go ahead and introduce our new commentators for the next game. We got Etiquette and Josh TGR here. Welcome, folks.
Welcome. All right.
Yeah, I guess we will pass it off to you now.
Yep.
Good luck. And good
follow
luck
up on
to the rest of the runners.
So we have J-Dude here running New Super Mario Bros. 2. And he actually has the world record, so he's definitely a skilled runner. And yeah, he has a 26:05. Oh, the runner on the other team, Juice ACD, he also has a 26:05, but it's a bit higher, I believe.
So starting off here, J-Dude's going through 1-1. He one of the things you're gonna notice in pretty much every level is he's gonna try to hit the flagpole around the 2,000 point mark. That's the fastest spot, or the spot on the flagpole that's the fastest to actually have the flag go down and flag go up and Mario go down. So that's what's gonna be the goal for each of the levels. coming up here is 1-2. This is, you know, your quintessential underground level. Some pretty cool movement, avoiding the enemies and like that. And there's going to be a really cool triple jump wall jump at the end of the level to get into the pipe, which is definitely a pretty flashy strat, and it does actually save time. So
Yeah, and it's the same as like NSME on the DS. This game does have fireworks, I should mention. I think there's one level in this run where it could happen. I don't actually remember the optimal in-game time for the level, but it's just something I want to watch out for. But it is a bit different since the last 2 digits of in-game time have to match the world you're in.
yeah, so in order to get fireworks on World 1, you need 11 at the end. For World 2, it's 22, like that. So it's a lot less likely to be an issue, but still can be an issue on some levels, especially if you have to delay a little bit because of bad luck or, you know, missed jumps.
1-3 has a lot of slopes, like gentle slopes, and the runners want to slide down those because it gives you slightly more speed. And also avoiding the ones going upwards because those are pretty slow.
Yeah, so after 1-3 is going to be 1 tower. It's going to be the first tower of the game. Actually, Fade just finished.
Yep.
So we're going to have both runners on NSMB2 really soon. But yeah, so the first tower here, this is where he's going to get the main power up for the run. We'll be getting the Squirrel Suit Mario.
This is really cool movement, by the way.
Yeah, this tower here is extremely hard to optimize like that, but that's just crazy movement there.
That looked optimal. That might be a 474 on the flag.
I think so, yeah. So he's taking the secret exit here. This is going to take him to the first warp cannon, which is going to bring us to the mushroom world. So we don't go from like world 1 to world 5 to world 8 like that. It's these sort of special worlds that you can only get to from these warp cannons. So, and one of the other things that's cool about this game, as opposed to the other NSMB games, is the warp cannons are actual levels as well. They're basically auto scrollers. Like, he's going to be running at a consistent speed, but they are playable levels. And in this first one here, he's going to be going for all of the red coins to get a power up. So we're going to look out for that.
Yeah. As I think about it, these cannons are actually pretty similar to Super Mario Run, the mobile game.
Yep, exactly. Now you can see J-Dude is in the Mushroom World. Juice is just finishing up 1-1. So moving into Mushroom 1, this level's kind of cool. We use a star because stars, like in other Mario games, are going to increase our speed. One of the nice things with this game, as opposed to the first New Super Mario Brothers game that we saw, is you actually keep your faster speed while you're jumping. So, you know, you don't have that awkward sort of stuttery movement, but the star just happens to run out right at the end of the level as he's going through that last piranha plant. So get an easy 475 on the clock.
The next level J-Dude's gonna enter is Mushroom 2, which is not only a water level, but also an auto-scroller, so it's a bit slow, so we have some time to focus on Juice as well.
Yeah, there are going to be some levels that the auto-scrollers can be skipped, but this is not one of them. One thing to note before we fully focus on Juice, though, he's going to be grabbing this golden fire flower. This is the power-up he got from the cannon level, so he's going to use it because its effect will actually go through walls. So he's going to, at the very end of the level, break one of those sea urchins through a wall in order to get into a pipe as fast as possible.
Yeah, it's something, and it's actually not the new. I think it's like a year old about change. I don't exactly remember, but they're going to grab another gold flower midway through the level a roulette block, and they're going to use that at the very end of the game.
Yeah, the power-up routing in this is pretty crazy. You have to basically keep, for top-level runs, you have to keep that Fire Flower from this point until the very last level of the game. So Juice is moving here into one tower. See if he does the very quick movement. There are ways to do this movement that, loses a little bit of time, but isn't too bad. But I mean, these runners are the best of the best, so we're going to be seeing top quality movement here. Small little hiccup there, but nothing too bad.
They're still pretty good.
So J-Dude here getting to the end of Mushroom 2. So you can see he's going to fire off the thing there, which is going to break the sea urchin that was blocking this pipe. And then get right up there to finish out the level. Another thing you're going to see here is he's going to attempt to do like a little wall jump off of the pipe. Anytime you come out of a sideways pipe like that, it's faster to do that. It's a little bit tricky to get the hang of, but if you can do it, it saves a little bit of time.
Now, Mushroom Ghost House is a pretty weird level. There's 2 doors you can go in, the left one and the right one. I'm pretty sure they're both going to go into the left door because it saves about 1/3 of a second. And also with the doors, it's better to enter the middle than the sides because you don't have to wait for Mario to walk to it.
Yeah, if you're going for like individual levels where we time by in-game time, then it's definitely better to go for the sides. But here it's better to go for the middle. Definitely a little bit of messy movement there by J-Dude, but saved it pretty well.
Yeah. Should be able to be fine in the next level. There's plenty of power-ups in it.
Yeah. The next level is where we're going to get the Squirrel Suit Mario, which is going to be the main power-up for the majority of the run until the very end. So, and it's another one of those auto-scrollers, so it doesn't waste any time to get those power-ups.
Little triple jump wall kick that you just did can be pretty tight, but it saves you doing another wall kick or 2.
All right, so it looks like Juice is 2 levels behind, but he does have the sort of longer water auto-scroller to deal with. J-Dude going into Mushroom B, so this is the one level that's sort of on the way to the Warp Cannon here. We're going to take the Warp Cannon from here to the Flower World, which is going to be another pretty quick world. And yeah, here's where he's going to get quite a few power-ups.
At the beginning of this level, you couldn't really see it. Maybe you could see it with Juice gets there, but there's a little triple jump you can do to the pipe. And I don't think you can do it without the Fire Flower because there's the Koopas in the way. Paratroopers.
Yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, so this game has quite a few auto-scrollers, as you can see, and it has a few kinds of auto-scrollers as well. The first kind is the kind that Juice is in, where the screen is locked from left to right, so you have to go wherever the camera goes, and you can't go off the screen to the left or right. The second kind is the kind that J-Dude's in, where it's a vertical auto-scroller, and with vertical auto-scrollers, you actually have a little bit of space to the top and the bottom of the screen that you can go off-screen. So he's going to be able to do things like you just saw there, where he jumped on top of a platform that was off-screen. But he's also going to be doing that in order to get into a pipe that's off-screen at the very end of the level. And the third kind of auto-scroller is more of an auto-scroller because that's how the level works. So it'll be something along the lines of you have to ride a platform, or you have to wait for platforms to generate, like in 6-1, And those kind of auto-scrollers are the ones that we can typically skip. So we haven't seen any yet, but there's going to be a few auto-scroller skips that we're going to see, especially in World 6.
So Juice is now out of GDQ, so he should be entering the Ghost House now. I believe J-Dude is getting close to the end of Mushroom B.
Yeah, there's one more little section here. And then the pipe is going to be at the very top of this section, right in the middle. And there it is. You can't see it, but promise it's there.
Juice got the left door entry in Ghost House perfectly. So we did happen to save a bit of time on J-Dude.
Right. So now J-Dude is going into this cannon as well. This cannon's a lot easier just because you have the squirrel suit. He's also going to break the coin block there. One thing we didn't mention, this game has a very heavy focus on coins. And so you can't really see it because we don't have the... Oh wait, the bottom screens are actually at the top. So if you look at the bottom screen when they're in the overworld, or the map select, there's a coin counter at the bottom that both of them should have maxed out to 9 million coins. After every tower and castle, basically every time the game asks you to save, normally coins would tick up there and you'd waste a little bit of time, around 6 seconds over the course of the entire run in any percent. But by having it maxed out, it doesn't tick up like that. However, one of the other things is they're going to have this little coin block that follows them, and they want to try and make sure that the block is either not there or there, depending on which level it is, because sometimes it just gets in the way.
We should see them use it to their advantage in 6 Tower.
Yes.
If you miss the block there, this floating block, they're going to have to use to get to the secret exit.
Yeah, if you're just learning this level, one of the things you can do is like ground pound on that block. That way you're already on top of it. But it is faster to go underneath and hit it from below and then jump onto it like J-Dude did. So with that secret exit, we're going down into Flower A. And this is the first instance of an auto-scroller skip that we're going to be able to see. So what the game wants you to do is ride this platform here. However, we can abuse the mechanics of the squirrel suit and do some sort of tail spins in the air, which allows us to maintain our P speed, or maintain our height as our P speed goes down.
Yeah, if you do that, it's called dash flying. Normally when you fly, you kind of saw it with J-Dude, since he did mess up the movement a little bit. You kind of fly pretty slowly. So we can do that to keep that fast speed.
Yeah, and you can also use it to gain height as well, because normally you're just going to start fluttering downward, but you can use that to gain some height, which is definitely going to be useful in some levels coming up.
Seems just the difference the two runners have, always ending up in 2 auto scrolls at the same time, but this should be like the last super long auto scroll that J-Dude's in right now.
It is kind of funny how that worked out time-wise. They're both just doing these auto scrollers, but Juice is in the final part of his auto scroller, and then J-Dude climbed into the pipe that was slightly off screen to finish out his one. This is one of those levels, if you're not careful, you'll notice that he's at 386 on the in-game clock, J-Dude is. Normally you can get like a 393, I want to say. But if you're, newer to the game or like go a little bit slow, have a little bit of a hiccup, you can end up with 388. And Flower World, there aren't 8 worlds. There's 6 normal worlds and then 2 or 3 bonus worlds. So Flower is considered the 8th world. So having 88 on the clock will give you a fireworks. So now both of them are in cannon levels. J-Dude's on his way to World 6. And yeah, in World 6 you're going to see a couple more of those auto-scroller skips as well.
The one definitely does pick up in World 6, you'll see, because there is quite a bit of, like, a lot of the auto-scroller stuff is packed into those 2 bonus worlds.
So 6-1 here has the sort of falling rocks that you see from NSMB1. I think it's 8-2. However, these ones are not random, so you're going to have the same falling rocks every time, so it makes it really easy for us to sort of find the best way through the level. And then normally you're supposed to wait for those blocks to spawn, but you can just sort of fly over the top and come right down on the flagpole.
Yeah, the runners have to make sure that they don't go too high when they're flying there, otherwise they will get and possibly fall.
Yeah. Yeah, getting hit while you're doing those dash flies is definitely not fun, because you just drop and fall into the lava.
Luckily with this game, there's quite a few levels that actually have like the backup power-ups that you'll need.
So 6 Ghost House here, there's a really cool strategy. In order to get the secret exit here to go over to 6A instead of having to go through 6, 3, and 4, in order to go through 6, 3, is to sort of bait your way past one of these giant boos and get him off of a switch. In an older route, we would take a damage boost and just use a backup leaf. However, we want the golden fire flower to be our backup, so we don't really have another option. We can't take that damage boost. So by doing some careful flying there, we can make the boo leave the switch and hit it just outside of his hitbox.
Wall kicks in that little vertical section are really weird to time, as you could see, since JD did mess him up a bit.
Yeah, you can pretty much do those wall kicks while the wall is still moving apart, but as it's moving apart, it just gets really weird to do, so it's pretty easy to mess up, but... So 6A here, this is just, one of those levels we try to go fast in. I think they're going to go for a strategy where we gain piece speed on the first couple of blocks there, and then we can go up through the middle here to get a star, and use the star to boost our speed and get into the pipe at the very end of the level pretty quickly. It doesn't save a ton of time, but it does save a little bit of time over the alternative.
Yeah, JD told me it only saves like half a second, but they're both pretty good at the game, so I'm also going to go for it.
Yeah, it mostly saves the time in that final room there. You get into the pipe around the same time, like in-game time-wise, but because you have the star, you have the extra speed there at the end. So this is 6 Tower. This is probably one of the most daunting levels when it comes to learning this game. The way you're supposed to do this is riding a bunch of platforms, but instead we can use our dash flying with some conveniently timed stopping points on these platforms and these burners to replenish our piece speed. And that just looks so clean.
Yeah, the cool thing to know is that when JD did get his piece speed, he was able to run like across the platform one time. You can barely make that. It's really tight to do.
You typically have to get a wall jump there into the running speed. You can do it without it, but it's a very tight window. So
there's also a really clean Resonor fight that JD just had.
Yeah, every one of the towers at the end has one of those Resonor fights. We only get to see one in this category because we either take the secret exit in one tower or skip all the other ones. But some of the other towers, like 4 Tower and 5 Tower, have in my opinion, harder Reznor fights than the 6th one. So 6-4, just some good old-fashioned platforming. He's going to gain piece speed here, so he can fly over this section where you'd normally have to ride a platform. And then, oh!
That was unexpected. I'm guessing he was going for some like really tight strats there with the crows. I don't know exactly
Yeah, I think
what he does.
Yeah, exactly. There are a few power-ups he can pick up, but not having a backup leaf or anything is really unfortunate. He can get a leaf in this level. I think from this block here, yeah. And you only need P-Speed for the second half, so it shouldn't affect the level too much, but that still gives Juice a little bit of time to catch up. All right, so 2 levels left for J-Dude. 6-5 is a level, we haven't really talked about it much because it hasn't come into play too much, but when you triple jump, you can actually go a little bit higher than like normal jump or double jump. And that's going to be really useful on this level. Specifically at the end, there's going to be some well-timed triple jumps to get over fireballs and onto ledges that normally wouldn't be possible otherwise. This is another one of those levels that when it's done perfectly, looks really clean. This is also another one where if you mess up your movement a little bit or get stopped on a wall or something, you can end up with 366 on the clock, which would give you fireworks as well.
Now, this is probably definitely the longest level in the game, the final Bowser Castle.
Yeah.
Now, I think J-Dude said he's going to go for a strat known as burner clip, for these little burners that are moving around, like those right there. There's a spot where you can kind of like clip into one and pass one, and then make a really tight cycle. It saves about, I want to say, 1.5 seconds.
Oh wow!
He did, but he didn't get the cycle, so at least he was able to show off the clip.
That's really cool. Yeah, if you wasn't going for the golden fire flower strat later on in the level, you could go into this with an extra leaf and just damage boost through the burner. Doesn't waste that much time, but it's obviously faster to do it the way you just did.
I think you can also use like the gold coin box to damage boost.
Yep.
With these little conveyor belts, he's got a triple jump and then hold neutral on the D-pad, and it'll keep that speed from the conveyor belt and just save a bit of time.
Yeah, you also notice he sort of stopped his movement there in that room. That was mainly to make sure he wasn't outside of those walls when the flash happened, because if that happens, then you end up petrified and can easily just fall into the lava. So right here, he finally uses the golden fire flower going into the Bowser fight. There is a way that you can jump over the Bowser fight, or you can jump over Bowser, just like in NSMB 2 or NSMB 1, but using the fire flower is a little bit faster. Saves an animation here when he clicks the switch, because Bowser isn't like falling down dramatically.
It's 6 or 7 seconds, I believe, to use the gold flower here instead of not using it.
It's that much faster? Wow.
Yeah.
I knew it was a couple seconds, but
I think I remember someone telling me that recently. Just like in NSMBW, there's going to be a little like escape section, as you could call it. Well, I was just gonna come. I probably should have waited to say that, but
Juice just finishing up 6-5, so he's also going to be into the castle section.
see if he can go for a burner quick as well.
Yeah, on J-Dude's side, basically this Bowser's going to be taking a few swings. It's sort of like a vertical auto-scroller. You can get up onto platforms early. So he's going to do that here and for the third one as well, to make sure that he loads the next section as fast as possible. I don't think you can load the second section early, but the first one can.
I also want to say that Juice also was able to get Burner Clip. He just lost a bit of time, so he made the same cycle as J-Dude did. So they both had the same beginning of the level.
Nice. Alright. Yeah, so you can see Bowser's taking an extra swing there. It doesn't matter how early you get up there, he's always going to go for that fourth one.
There should be one more section.
Yep, one more climb, and then time stops when he hits the switch on the third little level there. So. Time. So it's time for J-Dude. Really solid run. That was, I don't know what kind of pace it was, but that felt really good all around.
Yeah, it might be a sub 27. I wouldn't be surprised, although he did die.
Yeah, that's true.
See if he said it. So do we just bring in the NSB U commentators now?
Surprise! They're already here.
Oh.
Welcome, Shredberg, who's going to be doing the commentary for New Super Mario Bros. U, as we have Juice kind of wrap up here and get our next run kicked off.
Hey everybody, I'm Shredberg. Let's get ready for NSMBU, Wii U game from 2012, launch game for the Wii U, and really fun speed run. So Nick _ is going to be our starting runner on this one. So he actually just got a PB last week. What was that? 38-28. So he's been running this game for a while. This one, I know he ran the deluxe version that came out for the Switch a while ago. Just watching the opening cutscene for this, and really just one big thing is with the Wii or Switch version, it's actually slower because of loads. There's some things that would be faster, but the Wii U version is faster overall, which is a big reason why the Wii U version is, I don't know if it's necessarily the most popular, but it seems to be, it's just a faster version, I guess. So one of the things that really carries this run is what Nick's going to try to be getting here at the very first. Let's see if he goes for, there's a fast acorn strat. Now the acorn is basically the ability that they're going to want to be carrying through the entire game. It allows you to hover through levels, and you can do this sort of mid-air flight ability. It was just added to Mario Maker, so if you play that at all, you're probably familiar with it. So it starts out here with Acorn Plains 1. See what he does to try to get the acorn. Smart to play it. Well, I guess it might not even be playing it safe. There's a strat called Fast Acorn where basically you jump on top of that enemy, and at the same time you get it. For a race, it probably doesn't make sense to go for that, and Nick might not even go for it in the first place. I'm not even sure, but it does save a half second or so, but especially for a race, it's very risky. Looks like Juice there just finished up his run, so GG to him. Yeah, the mostly on 1-1 here, it's just running to the right. There's no real strats. There's some there's some hills that kind of want to slide down when you go past them since it's faster, but for the most part that's just running to the right. And it looks like Astix here is about to start their run. They have the world record in this game. They just got that world record back last week. So they have a 37-12 in this. They're very good runner, constantly putting up good times. I believe they also have the deluxe world record as well. You can see Nick on the other side there. When you have those chances where there's just a little bit of a ramp, you slide down those. Just gives you a little bit more speed. Your slide speed versus your run speed, just slightly faster. And then in classic 1-2 underground Mario game fashion, there's going to be a secret exit here that's going to bring us way further into the game. It's interesting, there's like a little trick. So the first time I did this casually, I went through and I did that. And I was like, oh, sick. There is a skip there. And as you can see, it just sort of ends. And the actual one that warps you, or really just as a secret exit, that one's sort of hidden. So he's going to get that, no problem. As Astix is about to start off in probably about 20 seconds here. The one thing I think this game's sort of in some ways notorious for in terms of a speedrunning perspective is there's a bunch of these cutscenes where it just shows like you unlocked a different level and then it shows Bowser's castle and see what's going on there. So in between these like 30-second levels, you'll sometimes have a minute-long cutscene sort of right before even you get to a difficult level. And here's Astic. Let's see how he grabs the oh, it looks like he missed the jump. It happens. He's just gonna do a ground pound there. And so Nick's entering secret level for chapter 1 here. This is a underwater level. There's going to be these sort of water jets that are going from those pipes. He's going to use those to try to boost him forward whenever he can. As that's gonna, as you can see there, they twist, and so that's going to be pointing towards the right that he's going to want to use. As Astix finishes 1-1, no issues there. Now let's see if Nick goes for this. There's like a corner pipe clip that you do at the edge here that allows you to get past this without waiting for this. Now he's going to wait for that squid. That makes sense for a race. There's a way that if you go into the very corner of that pipe, you can just go in there and you don't take damage from that blooper. But it is very tight. It's probably not particularly race safe, so probably smart to not go for it. As he's going to finish up chapter 1 secret, and that's going to get him to right into chapter 5, Soda Jungle, I think. So already more than halfway through the game. Insane. They're Astic doing a crouch jump to get through there. Right there, Astic's movement was like perfect there on that in-air jump. Was just enough to get him over that barrier, but not enough to where he stayed in the air long enough to where he loses speed. Because one thing, once you do that sort of in-air jump, is you will be slower because you sort of are flapping trying to do it. You're still hovering, but you're doing a much slower hover. So he's going to finish that up with a 323. One thing that it might not pop up in this, but it very well might. If you end in your timer has 2 duplicate numbers, you know, a 1 1 2 2 all the way up to 9 9 9. You don't want to finish on those numbers, and it's not because of fireworks or anything like that. It's because you get a cutscene where you get another item, and there's a whole scene where it's like, "Hey, I'm going to give you this item," and it loses you like 10 to 15 seconds. It's quite a bit of time, and it's something that you might see runners sort of slow down in order to not get that mark. And so right here, Nick underscore going into the first level of Soda Jungle. Nice callback to Super Mario Bros. 3, where you have the small and big enemies. As Astix on the underwater level. Astic's doing some Some swag movement. Gotta have fun in these relays.
If you're
Yeah,
not
and a
doing
lot of-
swag movement, are you even really a speedrunner? I mean, come on.
Good question, really. Good question. Yeah, and so this level 2 in Soda Jungle, it's a lot of just these first 3 levels, 4 levels is a lot of just holding right, and that's it. Oh, is Aztec's going to go for it? It looks like he is. Okay, he got it. It's man, that trick, especially for a race, if you miss it, the biggest issue is that you lose. You'd have to go and get an acorn. I believe there's a backup acorn in Soda Jungle 1, but you're losing, like, because you're powering up twice, probably 10 seconds. So it's quite a bit of time to just get the acorns, or really the mushroom and the acorn, and then power up. There you're going to see Nick. There's this Nabbit animation where you can chase him and then you get a P acorn. We're not going to worry about that. Interestingly enough, in Deluxe, that cutscene isn't there in the normal version because you can play as Nabbit. And if you're Nabbit at the end of that level, that cutscene doesn't pop up, but not going to be in here. And so Soda Jungle 3 right here, this is quite a tight level in terms of this. It's like Nick he's just timing that one after. I think that was a mistake from him. I'm not sure if that's how he routes that one out, but there's these, I don't even know the name of these enemies actually, but these ones, ooh, he lost his acorn suit. Shouldn't be a big deal as long as he can get through this. But these guys, you want to hit them right on the center and get through this. Yeah, he's just going to damage boost there, which makes sense. Oh, nice save. That's a little scary. Okay. Even if he does end this level and he's small Mario, it's not going to be a huge deal. The very next level, there's 2 acorns and it's an auto scroller, so it's not really a big deal if it does. Let's see what he does here. Nice. If you're on that one, that specific block, that enemy sort of moves his legs over, but you bonk him in the head instead of anything else happening or taking damage or anything. So he doesn't have his acorn suit, but he is going to be able to get it back here without losing too much time. Really, just the power up animation. So, and Aztecs on the other side, just very, very clean movement. One thing I did forget to mention is you'll see them spin jump a lot with this. Your spin jump is your highest type of jump in this game. As long as you have the acorn suit, you do. I forget how many like blocks high the jump is, but it is very high. As you're gonna see Nick here, it's 2 snake block areas. This first one has sort of a an intended skip where you're just gonna have a different pipe much faster than waiting for the block. Here's where Nick's gonna get the acorn. He's gonna need this because there's a very big skip here. This is about a 20-25 second skip, which is pretty big. So he's going to do a spin jump and then glide and then an in-air jump. And so he's going to land right there on that one, do another spin jump, and then there and get there to the boss. He gets it. And so it's going to go to everybody's favorite Mario boss, Boom Boom. This one you're just going to do, just like all Boom Booms, jump on his head and hit him 3 times. Nice. He gets it there early, that first one. That one's can be a little bit scary for a race, but it's not too bad. So, and Nick's able to get it with no issues there. Really, the biggest risk in doing it in a race is if you do miss it. This next level also has a skip, where if you do not have the acorn suit, I believe it is not possible to get, although it could be possible, just harder. Aztecs here on 5-3, just cruising along. This level can be pretty tough, and Aztecs is making it look really easy. Oh, Aztecs is so quick, he doesn't even have to do the bop strat on that enemy. It's just for the cycle entirely. And Nick's going to be going into the very first ghost house, the Which Way Labyrinth. This level is very quick. because of a very fun skip. Again, using the acorn suit to skip a large chunk of the level. Nick's frozen for me, but I'm assuming that he did it and it was absolutely insane.
We can only assume that everything that happens when the feat is having trouble is just first try. Best they've ever done.
Yeah, it looks like he actually lost his acorn suit. So this confirms to me that you can, in fact, get the skip without the acorn suit. But unfortunate. He'll be able to get it. There's a another auto scroller. This is, I guess, in very, very much Mario fashion. This game speedrun has a good amount of auto scrollers. You know, it is very Super Mario Bros. 3 like. And there, Aztecs does a little strat where to time it, he goes all the way to the left of that or right of that block, and is starting to run left as he does it. That way, he can be at full run speed and just be high enough to clear those electrical balls. I don't know what they're called. And get them. So Aztecs here, I'm sure he's going to go for that quick hit on Boom Boom. Got it. And so Nick is going to be in, this is a about 2-minute auto scroller where there's these parabeetles and you're just going to be hopping on them the whole time. It's a very fun level. I forget, there is a Super Mario Bros. 3 level that's just like it. Forget the name of it, but this game I think actually takes like a lot of inspiration from Super Mario Bros. 3, just in a lot of the ways that it tries to do these levels. As Aztecs here is about to go up into this ghost house, so hopefully we can see the strat for the ghost house there. As you can see, these big ones, they sort of, when you are on them, it's too heavy, so they fall. The light ones, they're able to fly all the way to the top without an issue. So yeah, here's Aztecs about to do the skip. Just go there to the left. You do a spin jump and sort of jump on top of some question mark blocks. Oh, actually, he might do another strat that I'm unaware of, but either way, he's going to get that. Or that might just be faster. I've always done it another way, but either way, he gets the strat. Again, use your acorn suit to go through what would end up being you're waiting for that platform to pull you through. Nick here near the very end of this auto scroller. It's just going to end up being right there on the very right, so he's going to do a jump, and he's going to get right there just in time to get in there with a 154. So very nice auto scroller level for Nick. And now he's going to be going into, there's this skip it's a little bit scary for no reset runs. This is a level where there's 3 clouds that would normally you would be waiting for them sort of riding it. It would be an auto scroller, but it's another example of using the wingsuit to go and just bust through the level as fast as possible. Aztecs looks like having a lot of fun on the auto scroller. Auto scrollers, fantastic because you have nothing to do but swag and just ridiculous stuff. All right, so here's Nick on that level. So let's see if he gets it. There's this first one here. You want to watch out for these pipes. You don't want to brush on them. There we go. Looks like he had to go back just a little bit because he wanted to make sure that he didn't run into those piranha plants, but he gets the first one. And there's 2 more of these skips in this level. These blocks just sort of pop up once you're close enough to them. So he's just going to fall here and do a spin jump. Or just regular... Oh! Yeah, I think you need to do a spin jump there. And it looks like Nick might have either just messed up or something. I'm not sure. Or he was going for something else. And that one you just hover across. You want to make sure you jump just high enough to where you're not too high to where the, for top left piranha plant doesn't chomp you, but you don't want to be too low to where the bottom piranha plant gives you a chomp. Very easy for either to happen if you're not careful, but Nick's going to get through it no problem. Aztec's near the end of his auto scroller. It's a 153 pipe entrance, not too big of an issue. You see he does like a wall bounce off of that, which is just a tiny bit faster. And this level here is quite an interesting level. The strats for it are somewhat tight. He already did one strat where he used the acorn suit to wait for what would be an auto scroller. And he's already near the end of the level. This last level has sort of a, staircase boss. Yeah. That's not going to be too much of an issue. It slows him down, but you can get through that without slowing down pretty much at all. But it has to do with jumping on top of the Koopa, and it's a little bit... I found it inconsistent, but Nick doesn't look like he's going for it. As it is the first tower of the game. Another example, again, this wingsuit is crucial for... Oh wow, Aztec's just running off of there and then doing a crouch. Very interesting. That just lined him up perfectly. I had not seen that strat before. Yeah, this is a completely vertical level, so a lot of spin jumps necessary. And you're going to be hovering a lot using that in-air jump. So it gets the first part of this first section really well, then just a little bit of an issue there at the end. It uses a spin jump to get right there. Spin jumps and wall jumps and just carrying those. Watching out for that. That guy. Okay, he's... Okay, he just barely missed getting onto that platform. Nick did. Lands on there to get his glide back. And now he's going to enter Comic. So Comic is RNG based off of where, one, there's going to be some blocks that pop up, and two, where they're going to end up being. So right here, it looks like not too bad of a formation. So he's going to be able to get it just waiting one time. Now these next ones this one's RNG on where it pops up, and this one is always going to be in the center. So it's possible to where the second comic that pops up just ends up being not really, easy or viable to get that immediate center jump, or really get it from the first jump. But no problems for Nick there. Yeah, there's Aztec's going right underneath, not losing any speed going there to the right. Very fun. And Aztec's going to go into Comic himself, as Nick is going to go into the second Boo House. It's about one level away now. Aztec's doing a good job to catch up a little bit, just through clean movement. There's nothing really that Aztec's has done that Nick hasn't been able to do, or hasn't been able to try for, just a lot cleaner movement. Nice ground pound there by Aztec's to get through it. And so the very beginning of this ghost house is really just auto-scrolling. At least this first section. Gonna wait for the second door to go into. Aztec's looking like missing that pipe, but not too much of an issue. Ooh, okay. Probably just gonna wait for the cycle. It looks like he sort of got it, but in trying to get the movement and wall jumps off of those, sort of missed it. The scariest part, I think, is this fire bro right there, but not an issue. And there Nick just going through, climbing up that pipe a little bit, and jumping through to go to that door. And let's see how Comic RNG treats Aztec's. It was fine for Nick, so bad RNG here could cost a little bit of time. But yeah, nothing too crazy in this ghost house. It's really just going in the correct doors. and just some clean movement. No real skips per se. All right, so very good first one, very good second one, and very good third comic. Yeah. Fantastic tower. Or there was a couple mess ups, but good comic at least. Sure, Astix doesn't think that it was fantastic. And so that's a secret exit that Nick went through in this ghost house. And that's going to bring a secret pathway all the way to the Chapter 7 boss. As Astix entering, really it's just like exactly a 1 level time between them. They will, no matter what happens, they'll be on the same level coming up here. This is a lot of moving just to the right and waiting for things. Let's see if he goes for a fast cycle here. If he was going for it, wasn't able to get it. You can get through between those platforms without having to wait. It can just be a little bit tough. Right here, there's that. These big hammer bros. You just got to watch out for them, because if you are on the ground as they slam down, as in other Mario games, you'll be paralyzed. Uh-oh. Okay. Nick's fine. He just missed a little jump there, but was able to recover. And he's going to go into the boss. And so this one is... Normally what you would have to do is Morton would split himself into 3, and you would have to dodge some fireballs that he throws at you, and then you would be able to hit him. On this one, what you're going to do is you're going to do a spin jump, and then you're going to do an in-air jump, and you're going to hit him right away, so you don't even have to worry about that. And so then the rest of the cycles is Morton just goes back and forth. Ludwig, thank you. I do not know the names of these Mario characters anymore. I used to know them so well, chat, let me tell you. Nowadays, I just don't. I forgot them all. Which is why half of the characters, and he's just going to get him there. Fast kill. Which one is Morton? Morton's one of them. But so Nick's going to go into what is a 4-minute auto-scroller. It's not, it's just going right. There's some motion controls, which is going to be pretty hype. But yeah, so Astix here is going to go into Ludwig's castle. Got it right this time. The one with the star, Morton's the gray one. Bald one with the fat gray one. Okay, that's... Gotcha. Oh, and Astix, they're able to get the fast cycle. That's awesome. That saves quite a bit of time. So that's a pretty big time save there. That lets you get on this cycle. That one's going to be faster. Wow, really good castle here. Just going to do the flight and then jump over him. Very nice.
All right, now I heard auto-scroller. Does that mean it's a good time for me to kind of pop in with a couple words?
Yes, it would be.
For the folks out there. All right, cool. Well, I just want to remind everybody that you're watching the GDQ Hotfix. That's where we put all of our shows in between the events. You are watching the new Super Mario Brothers series relay race today. Tomorrow, though, we've got one of our regular shows, Community Spotlight, coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is going to be a showcase of Jet Set Radio, which is a really beloved game. Please check that out if you're interested at all. And also, I want to remind everybody that Hotfix is supported in part by all of your subscriptions and bits and stuff like that. So please, if you've got a Twitch Prime sub laying around or something like that, we really appreciate it. And then you won't see ads on any of the regular shows and stuff too. So we really, really appreciate it if you do decide to subscribe to the channel. On top of that, remember that Summer Games Done Quick Online is coming up pretty soon here. We got the prize submissions open if you want to go to gamesdonequick.com for more information on that. And also you can find other info, other dates that are relevant. August 16th to the 23rd right here on twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. is where you're going to be able to find SGDQ 2020 online. So I see some people throwing some Twitch Prime subs down. Thank you all very much. We appreciate that. And yeah, I want to say again, thanks to like the new Super Mario Brothers crew for doing this, because this has been a really close relay. Like it hasn't gotten that far apart, and I feel like Astics has been gaining some time. So this is looking pretty good, Shredberg.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. And there's going to be, especially Chapter 8 has some really big places where you could save time. So it's going to be really fun here to the end. Yeah, so Nick got to the most hype place of the auto-scroller, which is motion controls, which we've all been waiting for. Probably the best part of any speedrun.
Oh yeah, I mean, why else would Super Mario Odyssey be so popular?
That's true. Very true.
Yeah. It's because of the motion controls.
It's exactly why. In Mario Kart 8 lobbies, I've been known to spam the I'm using motion controls even when I'm not using the motion controls. And it's mostly to intimidate people. I think it works, but I don't know. I can't be too sure. But yeah, this platform is just pretty much exactly how you would imagine. You just tilt your gamepad left or right, or Wiimote. I don't know. Runners might be using Wiimote. But either way, you just will tilt them left and right. So Nick actually almost to the end here, and now it's going to be Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. has Astics doing some very fun bouncing off of the top of the Bowser fist. You'll love to see that kind of... Oh, Jesus. That is scary. I appreciate the swag strats. It scares me. Man. You got to respect it. But yeah, so Nick going into Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. is similar to Ludwig, a boss or the first phase of Ludwig, where we're going to be using a spin jump and then going to land on top of them in order to hit them. With Bowser Jr., though, that's going to be all 3 hits on him. It's going to be doing a spin jump, doing an in-air jump, and hitting on top of him. Let's see how he does. It can be a little bit risky. If you do take a hit, you do lose your acorn suit, which is vital for the chapter coming up. But let's see. Nick's a pro. Nick gets it. And so he's going to be going into Chapter 8. Chapter 8, it has... The first level, you don't need the acorn suit. That's fine. It's the second level where if you do not have it... You just sort of can't finish the level. Interesting. I've never gone off that platform like Astics did. I was really afraid that it was going to go off screen, but I figured he knows what he's doing. Really insane stuff. I really, really love the swag strats that we're seeing from Astics. He really knows how to make a 4-minute auto scroller. Why are we calling Worlds chapters? Good question from M-Chan. Because I don't know, because I do that and I've always been called out. And it's really because every other game that I've speedrun that's a platformer has called them chapters. And so it does it, even though Mario games are literally always worlds. But anyways, we're on World 8 here for Nick as Astics is about to go into Bowser Jr.
I like the fast pipe entries of just getting them when they're just barely on screen enough, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
that you don't have to wait for the whole thing to scroll.
And that's a lot of them too, yeah. And so using when they're above your head, this, unlike a lot of Mario games like, you know, Mario 3 or World or whatever, or up pipes or anything like that. In this game, pipes seem to be very generous, so use that to your advantage. And Astics here doesn't look like they're going to have an issue with it. A little bit of a faster shot by Astics going to the right of Bowser Jr. before doing the spin jump. So that's a very, very good Bowser Jr. for him. So Nick here, this is a level where you're just, you know, classic Mario, just running to the right and not getting hit. This does have some fireballs, but as long as you don't slow down, you are not in risk of getting hit by the fireballs. This platform here sort of moves, so when the platform is moving to the left, you want to be running on it. Oh, it looks like Nick is going to be doing 8-4. Oh no, he's just going on that platform. It's swag strats. Never mind. I was confused because that level is much slower. Okay, good. That threw me for a loop. Going to be going into 8-2. So this is one where it would be a platform. This platform is one where if you have a certain amount of enemies on it, if it goes above a certain amount, right, the platform would stop. But let's just not use that. And let's do a nice skip here. Nick's going to be doing sort of a safe strat at the beginning so that he doesn't get messed up at the very beginning there. So he's going to get it fine. This second part, he's going to land on that Koopa. And he is going to do a mid-air jump and get over here and just run past the end of that level. The auto-scroller moves pretty slowly, so this saves something like 40 seconds. It might be less than that. I've never timed it. It's a huge amount of time. A huge amount of time. So really big skip there. And so he's going to move on to 8-3. His Astix here is going to go into 8-1. Again, as long as you're just moving to the right, there's really no risk of hitting those platformers, or not platformers, of getting hit by the fireballs. So here, let's see what Nick does on 8-3. He's going to go under here. So here you're going to hope for a star. He's not going to get the star. If you get a star, you run faster, which makes this level it's a few seconds faster than just going across it normally. But he does not get the star. He gets that one up in that sort of mystery box, and he's just going to go across this, use his hover ability to skip a bunch of platforms. It has this rising lava that you really not are worried about since we have the acorn suit. Astix gets through 8-1, no issues. And Nick _ gets past 8-3, no issues. Let's see. I'm pretty sure Astix is going to do a different setup here on this auto scroller skip. He's just going to keep his momentum. Yeah, do a duck jump. Goes fast underneath that mole, so just no issue there. Does a spin jump as late as possible. Okay. Yeah, and he's going to get through that no issue as well. Astix a really good run. There's been some minor things that have gone wrong, but there has been no deaths or any big issues there. So Nick this is a huge important part of the run that, let's see what he gets. It's called elevator skip. You're going to jump on top of these items, and by doing that, you're going to save a huge portion compared to going on a lot of where this elevator is. The elevator also sort of tracks right underneath where the screen is. So even though the auto scroller is underneath you and would be normally going slow, it still is faster to just go above the screen and do these sort of tricks. But Nick _ here doing a really good job. Oh, he misses a little section of it. Not a big deal. I believe though that these lightning bolt sections are level timers, not when they come on screen. So that might be a little bit of an issue. But doesn't look like it's that much. Astix does get the star, so he's going to save a bit of time there as well. So really, really, really good run. Yeah, you can just see right when that star came off that his speed just went way down. So, and right there, a ground pound at the end to just barely get on that platform. So a couple issues there on the auto scroller, but was able to get through it. The biggest thing there is not losing the acorn suit. That's really sort of the biggest thing there is you might miss it, but especially in a race setting or relay setting, if you lose your acorn suit, you lose quite a bit of time, as we're going to head here to the final level.
That was still one of the coolest strats I think we've seen today. Just all of that climbing and letting the auto-scrolling platform catch up.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to. Let's see what Astix does. I know that Astix there is probably a little bit more consistent on it, just because of the amount of I think the practice that they've put into it, and I think they even came up with a faster elevator skip. I doubt that they'll be doing it in this run, but I guess we'll have to see. Gets the first part of it. Good. So on this one, you're just making sure that Bowser Jr. doesn't bonk on top of you, and you're going to be running to a door. So Astix gets the first part of it. Pretty good. Yeah, using all of those, just fantastic movement here. And let's see. So he's going to set up the last part of it. There we go. Man. Gets it perfectly. Wow. That was really, really good. That was fantastic from Astix. As Nick underscore about to go into Bowser. Man, I just can't get over, like, two fairly good. I mean, Nick doesn't seem like they were too happy with their elevator skip, but it was pretty good. And there Nick is going to just do a spin jump and then go right over Bowser, which if I've played a Mario game, it's probably the end of it, right? No, just kidding. It's New Super Mario Bros. And there's like always a fake out. As Astix is going to enter in Bowser himself. Let's see if Astix is going to do... There's a strat where you can sort of hug the side of Bowser Jr. and it sort of pushes you across the level and it's a little bit faster. Yep, and that's exactly what Astix is going to do.
Yeah, I saw Nick do that a little bit as well. It looks very cool.
Yeah, Nick did that at the end, at the very beginning. I don't know if they just messed up their setup or what exactly happened. But Astix here just going to be able to take that. And also, actually, Astix, I guess, got it just about as much as Nick did. Either way, good first part. As Nick here is going to go into Bowser. This is going to be a giant Bowser, and there's also going to be Bowser Jr. in his clown car trying to throw bombs at you and slamming down on you. And what you're going to want to do is jump into that clown car and then hit Bowser. The way that the game wants you to do it is to also wait in between, where there are 3 phases. In between each of the phases, Bowser chases you back and forth. But that chase back and forth section is really slow, and we don't want to do that. So right here, Nick gets into the clown car, and so what he's going to do is hover above where that is. Or not hover. Oh, he just jumps off of Bowser Jr. Oh, that's a smarter strat than I've ever done. Yeah, jumps right off of Bowser Jr. there, so they can go right above Bowser. Waiting for this cycle. Does get hit. Oh no, he's going to... There we go. And so there he's going to hit him again. And so he's going to do, I assume, the same strat. Yep, hits off of Bowser Jr. so that Bowser Jr. doesn't go into the clown car. He's going to get into the clown car, and he's just going to wait this cycle. It looks like also get hit by Bowser there. No, he's going to miss him. It was a mistake last time. And so he's going to hit him one final time, and that is GG for Nick underscore. Astix not too far behind, but Nick did not lose any time on that one, so GG for him. Good run. Some mistakes, but nothing too bad really. So that's going to be it for me. I'm going to throw it off to the new Luigi Bros U commentators, M-Chan and Mr. Cab. Thanks, guys.
All right, hello everyone. My name is M-Chan or M-Chan Plays, and this is new Super Luigi Bros U, except there's no bros in the title. And today I am joined by...
Oh, hi, Mr. Cab here. Luigi U is a great game. We like Mario, but, Luigi's got this.
Yeah, Luigi doesn't get enough games, let's be honest. But, so this is new Super Luigi U. This is the DLC for new Super Mario Bros. U. It came out a year after Mario U came out. Basically what this is it plays very similar to Mario U, except there is no Mario, and instead we have Luigi, who plays much differently than Mario. Luigi has higher jumps, he slips more, and he has floatier physics, so a lot of his movement is very awkward. And also the main gimmick of this game is that every level has 100 seconds to beat, so the levels are significantly shorter, but they also throw in a bunch of stuff that makes every level significantly harder as well. So as a result, this game is very difficult. But we'll see what happens between these guys as they're heading into the final part of the relay. So we have Blue X2 and Latchers. Latchers, the current world record holder of any percent. So Blue definitely does have his work cut out for him here in this segment of the relay.
And Blue, still like no slouch at this game, has some good times. In fact, I believe he's the world record holder on the 100% side of things. But Latchers, Blue, this is going to be a tight race as Latchers already into 1-1. A relatively simple stage here. Much like Mario, you just want to get that acorn and get to the goal. Here we're getting to the flagpole ahead of multiples of 11 on the timer because we don't like fireworks. Typical Mario Brothers things. So far so good. But M-Chan, what's going on with 1-2?
Yeah, so 1-2 is where things start to get really difficult right away. So right off the bat, this saves barely anything, but it's pretty cool to get. Okay, you did not get it. If you fly at a particular time, you can actually get a 9-9 pipe entrance. But like I said, it barely saves anything, and it looks cool. Ooh, okay. So he goes to the left there to get that hidden star, and what he's going to do here is he is going to chain. If he gets there fast enough, which he did, he's going to hit that second block, which contains a second star, and that second star is only there if you hit it while you have a star, and he's going to chain that throughout the second part of the level, which is easier and faster to go through with the star.
Yeah, that second half of the level with all the piranhas, all the Koopas, it's just painful that way. Getting to that star, I mean, these two runners are going to make it look really easy to do that. But especially like when you're first picking this game up, just managing those cycling platforms can be pretty painful.
Yep. And so coming up is 1- Secret. He got the secret exit from 1-2. Just like in Mario U, they are going to be getting the secret exits. They are in the same exact levels as in Mario U, as they have the same exact world map. Coming up is 1- Secret, and this is the first instance where Latches is going to be using Nabbit. So by holding ZL on the gamepad, the game temporarily gives access to Nabbit. Nabbit is a new character introduced into this game where he essentially doesn't die. He's going to be running through a lot of these enemies, as you can see, he does save time as a result in some of these levels.
Yeah, he just go right through enemies. So especially here in One Secret, you can ride some of those extra currents, go right through the cheeps. Nabbit's kind of weird like that. The only thing, I believe he can't pick up power-ups, but if you do manage to take a death with Nabbit, I think you still lose your power-up as well.
Yeah.
So
and you also want to avoid getting power-ups as Nabbit because all those power-ups will turn into 1-ups at the end of the level. So you want to try to not pick up any power-ups as Nabbit. But yeah, that's World 1, and now they're going to be moving on to World 5.
So while the map's loading up, I just want to address that one question there in chat for what is the advantage to not playing as Nabbit. Nabbit's like all-powerful, invincible, and all these other things. What we're really just going to see is in a couple of stages, Luigi with that acorn suit. That's the reason to not play as Nabbit. And all these vertical autos, well, not really auto-scrollers, I guess, when we get there.
Yeah, so a very common question is, like, because the fact that Nabbit doesn't die, wouldn't it be faster to just play every single level as Nabbit? And there is a whole category where you can do that, but there are some levels that are still faster with Luigi. There's even a Luigi-only category as well, which I'm sure you and me are both more in favor of that version of the categories in the game, where you actually have to take your time to avoid enemies. So there's a lot more skill involved, but this is the standard here in this game, as this is the more optimized and more the version that people run more.
I mean, right here at 5-1, you just saw Latchers just jump right through a whole bunch of piranha plants. Those jumps are extremely tight if you want to make them with a character that does take damage like Luigi or one of the Toads. And yeah, this stage can be pretty painful, or at least slow as you're swinging back and forth waiting for a good cycle. Nab it in true speedrunning fashion. The game gave you an option to go through here and not take damage. Let's take that option. And yeah, just that much faster. And so it's good on Latchers. We get to listen to Toad complain about his double favorite stuff being stolen. We're not going to worry too much about that. His Blue's going to come in here to 5-1 next.
Yes, yeah, and you can go back to World 1 and you can catch Nabbits in 1-1. You get a PA Acorn, which allows you to fly infinite times, but unfortunately that's way too far out of the way. So you'll not be seeing any of them go back that far to get a PA Acorn.
Yeah, I think even in 100%, they've been trying to route those out so that you need as few of those as possible. So we're back into stages. Latcher's in 5-3. Slightly faster between this stage and 5-2. This one, if you're playing as Luigi, it's not that hard, but it is, slightly harder. But I think you save an extra second on the timer over the alternate path.
You can get 79s in both 5-2 and 5-3, but this level just happens to be half a second faster.
There you go.
There we go. So that's 5-3, and then now coming to this 5 tower, and just like Mario U, this level does have a major skip where normally you're supposed to ride this green block snake across the entire tower, but with precise acorn movement, he is going to try and skip it. Going for the recently, it's not new anymore, but it is a fairly recent development into the run where he is going off of the left side wall, and this saves about a second right here. So that's actually really crazy that he got that that he's doing this in a race setting like this.
Yeah, I only really just started finding out about this recently because I've been busy with other games. Wow, the left side is a little crazy. Those jumps are pretty tight. Normally you go the right side, you still have to kind of jump over that ball and chain in the middle of the screen, so it's still not a trivial trick either way. Boom Boom, just as trivial, sadly, as he's always been.
Yeah, so all you do is jump on him 3 times and you win. So as you can see on the other side, Blue is doing 5-2. It's again it's a safer level, so not a bad choice on Blue side to do 5-2.
Yep, not at all. Especially with the acorn suit, it's easy to glide over a lot of the stage. You do have to be a little careful because those blocks will plunge into the muck and come back out. So you have to just time those jumps out and know what you're doing. But really, you shouldn't be messing that up once you've really learned that route. Here's the
so as you can see here's Blue going for the traditional method, taking time here. That was it may have been deliberate. Slowing down the way he did does make that ball and chain cycle easier. So that way you have more room of success for that trick. But there we go. Both runners got the 5 tower skip. Definitely one of the biggest roadblocks early on in the run.
Yeah, you want to see them make that. So here in the ghost house, you see all these boos. We got that star, which is really good. I believe what you're really doing here, that jump might be possible without the star, but just the extra speed.
It is, but it's like extremely tight to do.
Yeah, it's highly recommended to move faster in a speedrun, it turns out.
Yeah, this star saves 1 second, and it makes getting that last jump easier anyway. So you may as well do it. And now coming up is 5-secret, and just like in Mario U, it is a pretty long auto scroller. So I guess we can probably take the time to kind of talk about how this relay is going so far. Now that we're in the last game, what do y'all think about how this overall race is going?
Just watching it over here, it's been pretty tight. I've really been enjoying some of these games I don't see as much. Pretty much everything's been hit. We just had a little bit of a hiccup on Blue's team in Mario Wii. That's been the difference so far.
Yeah, with I had to step away during the Mario Wii segment, but yeah, with Fade's mishap earlier on during his segment, it's kind of rough. Mario Wii is certainly a really hard game to do in a no reset situation like a race. But being able to, you know, maintain consistent composure throughout, you know, in this situation is very, very important. And we've been able to maintain this consistent pace throughout the whole relay, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, for me, as just a mostly silent observer, it's been pretty wild. I can't believe how close it's remained, and just how much everybody's been crushing these runs. Like, in a big relay race scenario like this, I would totally expect a lot more slop from folks, and even the few deaths we've seen and stuff have really been like just from going for completely full out strats and stuff like that. So we're gonna come ridiculously underestimate, which is super cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. And these are definitely, like, you know, the top 10 runners across the NSMB series. So you should definitely give these guys a follow, as these guys not only just run their main games that you see in the relay, but also like 1 or 2 other games in the series as well, maybe even all of them.
Yeah, it's always good whatever the series is, when you get to see the community play it. Although I think we should probably talk a little bit about 7-1 here.
Yeah, so 7-1, in my opinion, is one of my least favorite levels. Coming up is a really hard jump. Let's see if Latches gets it. Okay, does a little turn back. It gives you more frames to land that jump. As if you're doing that in full speed, you only have a 2-frame window to get that very last jump in to get over the fuzzies. Otherwise, you are going to die. And there is another method where you do that level as Nabbit, and it saves about a second. But it's also much harder and definitely not safe to do in a race.
Yeah, I mean, even then, Nabbit's not stomping off those fuzzies, so you just gotta be careful. Luigi's not obviously doing it either. Oof. 7-1 is probably my least favorite level in this game, just like you said. And right now, Nabbit's making 7-2 look like a joke.
Yeah, so if you were there during the Mario U segment, they did 7-3 because it just happens to be faster in that game. In this game, 7-3 is a lot slower, and so you do 7-2 instead.
Yeah, 7-3 in this game, I don't even remember it. It's been so long since I played it. It's just a long, sort of elevator-esque level.
Yeah, about like 50 seconds long. You don't want to do that.
Whoa, Blue's doing
okay.
strat.
That's a 100% strat that Blue is going for right now. So this is some crazy stuff. Meanwhile, 7-Dash Tower, kind of hard to go through, and also at the end, well, this could be an equalizer or it couldn't. Depends on how the very end goes. This part right here is an auto-scroller. You can kill these Fire Bros if you'd like, or you won't. Obviously, it's a lot safer because these Fire Bros can't have semi-unpredictable patterns.
Yeah, and that fireball in their hand over their head usually will hit you, so it's just easier and safer to just completely stay out of their way. And we got the same Kamek fight we saw a little while ago here. Let's hope RNG is still on everybody's side.
Yeah, we saw a 2-cycle Kamek from Nick on Latcher's team, and so we'll see what happens this time.
Well, that's that.
Okay, so losing Acorn right there, that is a loss, but there is an Acorn in the next level, so that's not a big deal. But that is going to lose a significant amount of time. Not enough for Blue to catch up, depending on how the rest of the fight goes. But it is going to be a significant loss. So normally, what's supposed to happen is you pick a side and you hope that Kamek is on the same side as you. So it's pretty much a coin flip. And then on the third hit, it's always the same. You will spawn in the middle. But there we go. That is 7 tower for Latchers, and I anticipate he's going to do 7 ghosts as Luigi in order to get his Acorn back, so he can do some skips later on in World 7. We'll see what happens, and meanwhile, we'll watch Blue as he does his version of Kamek.
And hopefully, Blue can reclaim a lot of this time for his team here. He said not enough. Obviously, Latchers is already out of the stage, but picking up It's a lot of time. We're talking at least 20 seconds, I would think.
Yeah, that was about 20 seconds. Okay, so yeah, he is going to get his acorn back here in this level. Although he does have to be careful. These blocks are pretty mean. Okay, he gets his acorn, so now he just has to fly down to the secret exit. So this is nice because the fastest time you get out of this level is an 88. And obviously, you don't want fireworks as it loses 15 seconds. One thing we didn't talk about is that as Nabbit, Nabbit does not get fireworks at all. So this is a level where you play as Nabbit.
Blue had a very nice Kamek fight there, kind of guessed right.
Yeah, flexing on latchers.
Cycle. So lots of time saved there.
All right, so this secret exit on 7 Ghosts saves quite a lot of time. Otherwise, the normal path through World 7 requires you to go through a major RNG section. So, there's even more RNG here in World 7. A choice between 2 somewhat difficult levels and then a very long auto-scroller and then the castle. So this secret exit saves a lot of time in World 7.
Yeah, if you can skip levels, just skip levels. That whole second side of this map, there's a lot of stages in this game I have not seen in a very long time. Any percent just skips everything. We're going here for a strat here, going under that block.
Nice.
8 spots up in the middle. So going down there, you're saving a few seconds. You're getting all the way to the right. It just looks terrifying with the squirrel suit clinging to the wall, since its wall jumps will stick before they start sliding down the wall.
Yeah, so that did look easy. Latches did the safer variation of that strat, but if you were to do the optimal version of that strat, it is way harder because it's if you mess up anything, it's very easy to get hit by those fireballs at the end. So here on this fight, Ludwig, normally you have to guess which Ludwig is the correct Ludwig because he's going to clone himself. It's the one that shoots the most fireballs, but with the acorn, so you can completely skip that attack phase.
And from there, it's a Mario game, so just stomp him as he gets up. I almost feel bad for him.
I don't hate Ludwig. But there we go. Blue also gets past 7 Castle, and now he's going to be on his way to Ludwig. And coming up is 7-Airship. And in Mario U, it's a 6-minute auto-scroller. However, in this game, it is still an auto-scroller, but there is a pretty difficult skip that Latchers is going to do to skip the first part of the level. So we'll see what happens.
It's one of those auto-scrollers that it's like the raft levels. The screen isn't locked. It's just you have a platform that moves at a set speed. And so with some pretty precise jumping here, hopefully we don't really see it at all.
Yep, so eyes on your right side of your screen here, and we'll see what happens. Whoa. Oh no, that's a death. Switching controllers. Oh man, this race is now really close. I think Blue might be ahead now if Blue can get the skip. Unfortunately, there are acorns that Latches can get in this first part, but they are really difficult to get. You can also do the skip without the acorn, but again, it's also really difficult.
And so most stages in Luigi U have a mushroom in like one of the very early question mark blocks or bricks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab that.
Oh man, this is gonna be a comeback here on the first team here. They were behind for most of the race, and this is gonna be their comeback. Okay, gets his acorn, and he's at least gonna go for the half auto scroller skip here. Loses acorn.
Tagged again.
Okay, so he's still ahead of Blue, but Blue's going to make up a significant amount of time. This race just got really close.
Oh, Blue had to slow down here too.
Oh yeah, safes it out. Usually, if you don't feel confident with depending on how your movement went, it is usually better to take a save. So, wow, look at this. This is crazy. About, I want to say, maybe 10-ish seconds behind now. Just had to go and get that last acorn before the fight because it will save a lot of time for the fight. So we'll see how the Bowser Jr. fight goes. So with the Acorn, you can skip a lot of Bowser Jr.'s attack phase, just like that. Now, this looks easy, but Bowser Jr. does not have a favorable hitbox.
That's putting it lightly.
Yeah. Okay. There's been several insane clips from various NSLU and NSMBU runners where it may look like you're about to hit Bowser Jr., but you either get knocked out of hitting him, you get hit at the same time that you hit Bowser Jr., or you just don't hit him at all. So very nice for both of them to have really clean Bowser Jr. fights. But wow, that was
comeback.
This is crazy now. Latches really has to pull something in order to maintain his lead.
Yeah, and we're going into 8-1 where there's at least a little bit of RNG. We've got these falling meteors. We've been seeing them in pretty much every game of this series so far, and we actually need them to hit in a specific spot to get to a secret exit. I'm assuming they're both going to play as Nabbit. They both have their acorns, but even then, that's 1 or 2 seconds. And now that the race has come this close, will Latcher's nerves just hold up?
Yeah. So going through this long cutscene into World 8, Peach's Castle, and they're about to head into headed to 8-1. Now, if you've watched the Mario U segment, you're actually going to notice that these guys are actually going to be taking a significantly different route than what you saw in the Mario U segment, and that is because in Mario U, the route in Mario U works because there's a skip in the normal levels that saves time over 8-4, which is the secret level. However, 8-4 is not a secret level. It's not an auto scroller in this game. So it is a lot more worth it to do 8-4 in this game.
8-4, when we get there, I think this is actually the last level we do play as Nabbit.
Yes.
Everything from here, Acorn is something you want to have, whether for vertical movement or gliding over chasms.
Yeah.
So
Latchers did not get a good pattern. Blue getting a faster pattern than Latchers, so saving even more time.
All right. Just a few seconds here and there, but I want to say we're out of RNG at this point.
Yeah, well, until the Bowser fight, at least there's some little bits of RNG here and there on the Bowser fight, but we'll explain that later.
Yeah.
So here's 8-4. It's a very technical level to do really well. So we'll see what happens here. The fireballs are not RNG this time; they are instead on a cycle.
So you do want to move really fast at the beginning to.
Oh no! This is going to be weird. Okay, makes it through. All right, if this level goes wrong, it will go really bad. And Blue getting a fast cycle here, so really saving, really gaining on Latchers here on this late game segment.
So it was an 84 at the flagpole for Latchers, a high 86 for Blue. So that's at least 2 seconds. And these seconds in Luigi U, I think they're a lot closer to real-time seconds than
they are
Mario game timers. Luigi keeps track of time.
Okay, so coming up this elevator skip. If you know elevator skip from Mario U, this elevator skip is a heck of a lot easier, as it's not a vertical climbing level.
It's easier once you know it. Like, there's a lot to this level that when you're first picking it up, I feel like it's very easy to jump into a shock. And this last jump that Latchers just made, that's a pretty tight jump to fit through there.
Yeah, it's very specific. You have to be low enough so you don't hit the bomb at the top, and also high enough that you don't hit the spark. Blue's going for a safer variation of elevator skip. Don't blame him, considering how close this race is. But this could actually come down to Bowser. Whoever doesn't mess up Bowser is gonna come out at top on this.
So how consistent is getting Bowser Jr. to help out with your movement to the right here? I feel like it is once you know what you're doing, but that's a little bit of time.
In the first room?
Yes.
It's very hard, but we'll see if Latches goes for it. This saves like 2 seconds over the most consistent way of doing. Okay, he's not going for it. He's going for instead the older method of the Bowser Jr. boost here, which still saves about a second over the consistent method. And we'll see what Blue. Okay, Blue going for the most consistent method. The way Bowser Jr. works here in this first room is that if you always do the same movement, then Bowser Jr. will also do the same movement every time. Now these fireballs right here are always the same, so they know how to go through this corridor. And now for the Bowser fight, this is the hardest fight in the game.
Very technical. You jump.
Oh my god, I can't. How does he do it?
I'm just sad they patched the yump.
Okay, Blue's turn. Oh my god, how do they do it, man? I'm telling you, these guys are insane.
Got him. But unfortunately, like all these other games, there's one more trick here.
Yeah, so there's a lot to explain this Bowser fight, because this Bowser fight, if it goes well, goes by really fast. I guess it's not really a surprise now because this is pretty much the same as in Mario U. But the first thing that they're gonna do is fireball skip right in the beginning. And that is that if you fly up as soon as Bowser shoots his first fireball, that he will skip his second fireball, which saves like 2 seconds. And then what they're going to do is they are going to keep Bowser Jr.'s clown car throughout basically the whole fight. And if Bowser Jr., if something happens, whether Bowser knocks you out of the clown car or Bowser Jr. takes the clown car away from you, then it could be about 20 to 40 seconds lost, depending on what RNG Bowser gives you.
So that little movement from Latchers looks like it's nothing. It actually stops a second fireball from appearing, which itself saves just a little bit of time.
Exactly. Okay, so he gets so that's the first hit. He needs 2 more hits left. Blue also getting okay, that's fine.
This is fine. He's in the clown car. That's all that really matters.
All right.
Latchers in the clown car. So this
right,
might be it.
As long as nothing's funny happens, then this definitely should go to Latcher's team. And with that is Latcher's team with a 2:30.56. Very, very strong relay time across the whole series. And then Blue following up, 3:31.08, about a 12-second difference at the end of the race. That is insane for all 5 games across. And, you know, with, like, I'm telling you guys, all 10 of these runners are playing absolutely out of their minds here in this relay.
Yeah,
This
was insane, and this was great. And I mean, it's one of those things where it's a testament to the skill of the entire community that you can have relays longer and longer and just keep them this close. This was wonderful.
Yeah, and the NSMB games are definitely very underrated as a series as a whole. But these games are pretty fantastic speedruns. That if any of you in the chat are like have a passion for at least one of these games, you should definitely try these games out to speedrun. They're really fantastic.
And I can vouch for these a little from the other side of the series, from the retro side of things. So yeah, just jump in. They're still Mario games, or in this case, a better Luigi game. But just get in here, play these games. They're fun. The community is fun.
I actually also did I jumped into trying to run this game for one of our other GDQ Hotfix shows, The First Step. So can confirm it's very easy to get into and very fun. But I wanted to thank all of you. Thank you, M-Chan and Mr. Cab, for wrapping up our commentary here today. And thank you to all of the runners, all of the commentators for this incredible relay. How unbelievably close at the end. 12 seconds, like you said. That is really cool to see 5 games in. Gotta love to see it. thanks again. Special thanks to Latros, because Latros helped coordinate all of this with me and stuff. So this would not have happened without Latros' help. And thank you everybody for watching. Be sure to keep tuning in to GDQ Hotfix stuff. Again, if you've got a Twitch Prime sub or just $5 laying around, anything like that, a subscription really helps us put on this Hotfix content. But otherwise, we are pretty much done here today. Tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, for the Community Spotlight with the Jet Set Radio Showcase. And then continue tuning in throughout the week for more awesome Hotfix content, like the first step on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Just going to throw that one out there. So with that, we are going to go ahead and close out here, folks. I'm going to toss it over to a raid of an equally better than Mario run of a Luigi game. Kind of. You'll see. But we'll go to a break screen for a bit first. See y'all. Thanks very much for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching.
And thanks GDQ for hosting us.